Welcome to a much demanded unboxing. This is the Corsair Vengeance K60. So yes, Corsair finally has pretty much a full set of peripherals. They've got your speakers, your headphones, your keyboards, and your mice. Actually, I have a mouse here too, but we're not doing that one just yet. So we're going to show the keyboard. So Corsair is all about gaming. We've known this from pretty much day one, when it was just memory, and then oh wow, I know I'm gonna get it wrong when I try and tell you guys sort of the order of the categories they expanded into, but power supply, and then cases, and then cooling, and then audio. I'm probably missing something. Corsair does so many things these days, but what is most exceptional about Corsair, in my opinion, is the fact that they do pretty much everything well. I can't think of very many Corsair products that I've had the opportunity to play around with or to check out that I haven't been really impressed by. So let's go over what are the overall specs of this keyboard first. So this is a mechanical keyboard. Yes, pretty much any serious gamer or serious typist, and they're going to tell you mechanical key switches are pretty much a must on any high-end keyboard. So these are using Cherry MX Red mechanical key switches. Really, which mechanical key switches feel good to you comes down to the personal preference of the typists themselves. Some are louder and some are less loud than others. Some have sort of a longer travel time to register the keystroke. Some have a shorter travel time. Corsair believes that the red key switches are ideal for gaming, so that's why they've used those for this particular keyboard. This is more of the FPS version of this keyboard. It comes with contoured, textured WASD keycaps, so you can see those right here. I'll show you those once we open it up. Full key matrix anti-ghosting. So anti-ghosting means that no matter what combination of keys you press, you're not going to get any accidental, unintended keystrokes registered. This can happen with less premium keyboards. And what it tends to occur is while you are typing quickly and you press 2 or 3 keyboards together while you're in the middle of something, it'll actually register an extra keystroke because of the way that the keyboard is communicating via USB to the computer itself. So they've implemented anti-ghosting as well as 20 key rollover. So you hear a lot of talk about how many key rollover. So what does that mean? We've seen up to N key rollover on PS2 keyboards, and Corsair says they could actually implement N key rollover with USB on this particular keyboard, which is a very neat feature. However, they went with 20 because the reality of it is, unless you're operating your keyboard like with your arm in your face, you're probably not going to press more than 20 keys at a time. So what that rollover spec means is how many keys you can hold down, hold on, let's see how many I can press, at a given time before they will stop registering each new one that you press down. So for gamers, it's fairly common to be holding down Shift and Tab and jumping, and I don't know, maybe you're playing like an older style game and maybe you're actually using these for your jump and your crouch or something, and then this is your moving around. Maybe you're playing a 2D side-scroller. It's fairly common for a gamer to hold down 8 or more keys at a time, whereas the normal rollover for like cheaper keyboards does not allow you to necessarily have every one of those keystrokes be registered. So that's why that's an important feature. What else we got here? So the contoured, textured WASD keycaps. I'll show you those in a minute. They're right here. I haven't forgotten. Full key matrix anti-ghosting. Yep. Multiple key presses won't jam you up. Lets every keystroke get through. Professional grade brushed aluminum chassis with laser etch keys. Love that. I'll show you guys that closely. Soft cushioned contoured wrist rest, and I'll show you that in a minute as well. I just want to make sure that I do not forget anything here, because this is a keyboard that a lot of people have requested that I take a look at, so I don't want to miss anything. So here is the wrist rest. So what makes this the more FPS-oriented product versus the K90, which is more of the MMO-oriented product? And I will show you guys what makes it that. This guy is all about comfort when you're using your left hand to game, which, here we go, is facilitated by things like this wrist rest guy right here, which I'm just going to try to figure out how to put back together, because I actually do not know. There we go. Okay, And this guy goes under here, so it's got a bit, actually I'll show you this first. So it's got like a soft kind of rubberized feely thing here with, see this little dimply surface? I guess that's to help keep sweat from accumulating and making the surface slippery, which is kind of nice. This part's hard plastic, as well as this part right here. This serves as a carrying case for the keys that you are not using at any given time. And then there are latches right on the bottom here, and I'll show you those once I've got it attached here, that allow you to put this right here, so that your hand rests comfortably right here for gaming. The MMO version of the keyboard has a bunch of buttons over here, which the FPS version doesn't have, and the MMO version doesn't come with this rest, which is designed especially for FPS gamers whose mouse hands are over here and whose keyboard hands sit right here. It can be quite easily attached and detached, so you just pull it off like that, and I'm just going to show you guys the spot on the bottom where it goes. Just like that. While I'm on the bottom here, I'll show you guys what you've got in terms of adjustable feet for your comfort, so you can raise up your keyboard a little bit. You can slant your keyboard this way if you want. You can slant your keyboard this way if you want, and if you're not using any of the feet, you've got 4 rubber feet here, as well as 2 rubber feet here to keep the keyboard from slipping around, although it's quite heavy, so I don't think you're going to have too many problems with it moving around unintentionally. Comes with a 2-year warranty. I just want to show you guys the included connectors. So we've got the keyboard USB, as well as the built-in hub USB. So the hub has your, looks like it's just the one. Okay, so that's where you plug in your mouse. Alright, so let's have a look at these keys here. So what you want to do is you take your included key remover, which was in here. I don't know if you guys saw me take that out. And you just pull off the keys like this. You can clearly see the cherry red switches, so named for their red color. Alright, and then you just go ahead and take your contoured rubberized keys and you replace your WASD. Now check this out. This is what they mean by contoured. Each one of these keys is actually, oh shoot, I just installed that one upside down. That's the thing about S, is it's hard to tell which way it is intended to be oriented. So there you go. Put those on like that. So now you can very easily feel without looking. Can you see from that angle how these are actually curved towards the center? There you go. Yeah, now you can see that. So these are contoured, so you can very easily feel which are your WASD keys and which ones are not. And the same goes actually for the number keys up here. You can see that 1 is actually curved the opposite way from 6. So this could actually be very useful for MMO gamers as well. So when you're looking for that particular potion, you can easily feel up here, oh, okay, which one is it? Okay, that's too far. That's my number 6 belt spot, or whatever the case may be. So that's kind of a neat feature. Let's have a look at the overall layout. They haven't done anything that I would consider to be a cardinal sin here. Long shift keys, long backspace key, and full-size enter key. I am just, it kills me to see otherwise awesome keyboards, like say for example the 7G, with something like a short backspace key. Great for gaming, not ideal for typists who have small hands like myself, because I can barely reach this. I definitely can't reach that while keeping my fingers on the keys. Now, something a lot of people have sort of made, I think, an inordinate amount of fuss about with this keyboard is the fact that it is not fully mechanical. That's right. So, these keys, this whole block is mechanical. These ones are mechanical. That means they use the Cherry MX switches. So those are the expensive type switches. And the number keys are all mechanical. However, the F keys, as well as these keys, are non-mechanical. Now, one thing I would like to see Corsair change around if they ever do a Rev 2 is I would like to see the delete key and the escape keys be mechanical. But honestly, for all this stuff up here and the insert home page up, it doesn't make that much of a difference. You know, you can actually hear the difference in mechanical keys, so check this out. I'm hitting those with exactly the same force. This gives me a much more sort of satisfying response versus something like that. It feels more spongy. That's because it's not a mechanical key switch. So up here we've got a Windows key lock. We've also got our number, caps, and scroll lock indicator LEDs. We've got media functions, so we've got stop, back, play, pause, as well as forward. There's your volume wheel. I love the way they've implemented this. It's very, very nice to touch, as well as a mute key. You know what? We're not going to be able to do this video without plugging this thing in because it has an awesome blue LED backlight, which looks fantastic off of the brushed aluminum base. So what Corsair's done here, as you can see, the entire keyboard is going to be super easy to clean. You just use a can of dust off because instead of leaving little recesses, actually I'm going to pull out my my 7G here again to show you guys. Instead of having all these little recesses in here that you can't clean things out of very easily, Corsair has given you full access to the entire inner workings of the keyboard. You can actually pull almost every key off and easily get any sort of dust or hair or anything that accumulates in it out of it. So that's kind of neat as well. It also gives it kind of a really cool look. I love the brushed aluminum finish here. Have you had a good look at that yet? You have? Okay, good. Let's see if I've missed anything else in terms of spec. Gaming rest with soft touch surface, 10 user installable sculpted FPS keys. So yeah, that included WASD as well as the 1 to 6 numbers. And don't forget, you can store all of those keys inside this handy rest, little labeled spots, as well as your spot for the key installer and uninstaller. Windows lock, Cherry MX. If you're interested in the specs of the Cherry MX red mechanical key switches, there you go. They do have gold contacts and they're rated for 50 million operations. So yes, this keyboard will last you a very, very, very long time. So let's go ahead and drag it over to a computer so that I can plug it into a USB port and show you guys how wicked this thing looks when you actually plug it in. So it looks like I was mistaken. The K60 does not have the backlight. The K90 does. The only one I've actually used so far is the K90. So yeah, I've sort of misremembered which one had which. But either way, I think that pretty much concludes it. I think we're done with the K60 here. Thank you for checking out my unboxing and first look at the Corsair Vengeance K60 FPS gaming keyboard. Don't forget to subscribe to Linus Tech Tips for more unboxings, reviews, and other computer videos. And now that I've actually used both of them, I would have to say that if it came down to it, I would probably choose the K90 with the backlight. With the backlight as well as the additional programmable buttons on the left-hand side. Versus the K60. Even though the K60 is less expensive, they'll both provide a very good typing experience. They've both got the laser etched keys, which are never going to wear out no matter what, because those letters are etched right into the keycaps themselves rather than being something that can be worn off. Actually, a perfect example is if you check out this 7G over here, where you can clearly see which keys get used a lot more or less than the other ones. Yeah, that's pretty obvious. So you can see all of the numbered keys are much less bright than the SteelSeries logo right here. So don't forget to subscribe to Linus Tech Tips for more unboxings, reviews, and other computer videos.